Afternoon, peeps. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. The Bronze Bomber is back this weekend. He takes on Helenius in a fight that I think will be very, very interesting for the first 5 or 6 rounds. I really do. It's good to have Deontay Wilder back. There was a part of me when he went silent after losing to Tyson Fury, and I was like, you know what? That's it. You know what the phrase is, guys. Get in, get rich, get out, right? He's got a wonderful family. And I was like, he's made a lot of money. He was a long reigning WBC heavyweight champion. I don't know if it was enough to make the Hall of Fame, but regardless, he's made a lot of money. He's had a good career. Leave it as that. But then I was like, you know, it kind of would be good to see Deontay Wilder back, right? So many good matchups for him. So many, and we'll talk about them as well now. But now he's back. And we'll wait and see what's left with Deontay Wilder. You have to understand, those 2 fights against Tyson Fury, I mean, they take a lot out of you. They take a lot out of you. And it was a lot, right? Both were quite, especially towards the end of both fights. I mean, the last fight where he was just completely sort of exhausted and the way he just crumpled to the canvas, that takes a lot out of you. The second fight where, you know, his corner has to step in and stop it. So he was taking a beating. So look, hopefully, physically, mentally, emotionally, he's recovered from those. And we get to see a still very, very good Deontay Wilder. If he hasn't recovered from those, and I've said this a lot since it was announced he was going to fight Helenius, if he hasn't recovered from that, this could be a tricky fight. Helenius is a very big, strong fighter. For me, a top 15 heavyweight who's coming off a couple of good back-to-back wins against Kaunaki. Now, some of you might rate Kaunaki, some of you might not, but Helenius' confidence right now is up here. Wilder, although he speaks very well, his confidence can't be that high because he's coming off a couple of beatings. And yes, he's coming off the beatings to the best heavyweight of this generation, but nonetheless, he's coming off a couple of tough defeats. So it's going to be very interesting. I hope that, and I'm sure Malik Scott and the other sort of members of the team, I'm sure they've got Wilder focused solely on Helenius, but I hope he is, just because all we seem to hear, and maybe these are just the clips that I'm watching, but every interview from Wilder seems to be talking about Usyk, seems to be talking about Andy Ruiz, and seems to be talking about Anthony Joshua, and a bit about Tyson Fury as well, but mainly those 3. And I'm like, yo, dude, you're not fighting any of those 3 right now. In order to get those fights, you need to get the job done on the weekend. The AJ stuff, you know, he's been saying, and he's right, by the way, that AJ fight is still a fight he wants. Remember, they were very close a couple of years ago, very close. I remember Shelley Finkel sat down with, at the time, John Skipper, who's now no longer with the Zone, but he sat down with John Skipper. Eddie Hearn was removed from the equation, and it looked like he was going to go that route, and then he swerved, ducked, whatever word you want to use, didn't have the fight with AJ, and then went on and had the fight with Luis Ortiz and then Tyson Fury. So they've been close before. And I think as long as both win their next fight, it's financially the biggest fight that both of them can still have for me. I know some might say, well, Fury, AJ, maybe. But Wilder, AJ is just enormous. Honestly, it's just enormous. It's easily a stadium fight. It'll do a huge number. Like Wilder AJ over here on pay-per-view, I think it's 1 million buys. I think it's 1 million buys. It's just a fight that hasn't gone away. It's been in the background for the last 5 years. And look, both of them have suffered defeats, but it's still there just because of who they suffered defeats to. I know AJ lost to Ruiz, but really and truly, he done that back. He reversed it. Losing to Usyk and losing to Fury is not a problem. It's not a problem, so you can do it. I would love to see the fight in Nigeria. I called it Chaos in Lagos. I think that's a fantastic fight. Usyk for Wilder, again, another massive fight. And this is probably why, if you're Wilder and you sat down, and look, again, he's made so much money, but there's so much more money on the table, and it must be difficult, so much. And we're talking hundreds of millions. Honestly, I think that much money on the table. I think a Ruiz fight is just, that's a pay-per-view monster in America, isn't it? People, let me know, is it not? Mexican-American versus African-American, 2 former champions, both want belts again. Massive fight. Usyk Wilder over here is a stadium fight over here in the UK, and it does huge numbers pay-per-view over here, really does. And then AJ, and then look, we've seen 3 Fury fights, and this is funny because I didn't even want to see the third one. The third one might have been the best one. Like, Fury Wilder will always be good. It will always be good. So look, those are the 4. There's other ones out there. Everyone's spoken about Joe Joyce potentially. That's out there. So you can understand why Wilder came back. Is it just me, or does Wilder look a lot slimmer than we've maybe seen in his last 3 or 4 fights? I know he put on a lot of size to take on Tyson Fury. Maybe unnatural size because he's never really that big, but he almost looks a lot slimmer than that. Or sorry, he almost looks a lot slimmer than even the past version of himself. I don't know what that is. Maybe they've decided to kind of get rid of the weights. Remember, Wilder was releasing videos about him deadlifting and bench pressing. Maybe they said, scrap that, let's just focus on boxing again. But he does look a lot slimmer. And I feel like he might have needed that extra bit of weight because Helenius, not as big as Fury, but not too far away from that, will put his weight on Wilder. I guess Wilder would just have to create that separation and then land that forehammer. I'm a big fan of Helenius, really am. But I hope he loses. I really hope he loses because I need Wilder to still be here. I need to hope and pray that Wilder meets AJ sometime because it will be carnage. It'll be carnage. And again, speaking to AJ the other day, from his standpoint, these are fights he has to have. Win or lose, you have to fight the fellow top guys in your era. And so far, if we're talking the top guys, like the really top, it's only Usyk that he's fought. Top guys. Dillian White's not a top guy, nor is Joseph Parker. If we're talking the top are Wilder, Fury, AJ, Usyk. All those lot need to mix with each other. And so far, we've only seen 2 combinations of that, Wilder, Fury, and AJ Usyk. We need to see so much more happen. And they're not spring chickens. All these guys are well into their 30s now. These fights need to happen in the next 18 months. So hopefully, and I'd put Ruiz in, would I? Former champion, I don't, maybe not. But hopefully all these guys mix very, very soon. Obviously, it looks like Fury's going to take on Derek Chisora. After that, has to be Usyk or AJ. Looks like AJ will take on Otto Volin. After that, has to be Wilder or Fury. Do you know what I mean? Fuck the playtime. Playtime's over. You guys need to get in with each other. But yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to see what Wilder weighs. The weigh-in will be in a few hours. Really looking forward to see how small he is because he looks tiny for me. And then we'll see how he performs in the early hours of Sunday morning. No, I can't. I was thinking, can I do a live watch along? I can't. I'll be in Sheffield. I haven't done a live watch along for ages. Really need to get doing them again. Guys and girls, what are you thinking, Wilder? I'm going with a 6-round KO, but Wilder comes through some sort of like wobbly moments. But I'm going 6-round KO. What are you going for? Let me know. Peace.